Hank Phillippi Ryan is the USA Today best-selling author of 16 psychological thrillers. She's won multiple awards for her work, including the coveted Mary Higgins Clark Award. That's just among some of the many awards she has. She's also the on-air investigative reporter for Boston's WHDH-TV and has an amazing 37 Emmy Awards under her belt. I'm telling you, when I say she's a legend in my book and many authors' books and TV people. I mean, you're just amazing, and I'm going to fangirl. I'll try to get this interview done as a professional, but inside, I am freaking out to welcome you to Author's Note. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness, Rebecca, what a joy to be here. We decided behind the scenes that you and I are sisters, so we're going from there.
I am excited to hear about this, right? So let's go back a little bit though. So, and this is how I first kind of came into your orbit and seeing what you did and following what you did. A lot of people want to write novels, right? A lot of people want to, this is a dream job, but you already had another dream job. You had a day job, and for a lot of people that gets in the way. You started publishing novels, your first novel, in such a high-pressure day job as a television journalist. How do you manage both of these worlds?
That's such a great question. You know, I've wired myself with hidden cameras and confronted corrupt politicians and chased down criminals and gone undercover and in disguise and sort of spent a life fighting true crime, uncovering true crime. But one day, I'm really the poster child, I have to tell you, for following your dreams in midlife. One day, I was at Channel 7 doing research on an investigative story, and I just had a good idea. You know how it feels when you have a good idea. And I went home and I said to my husband, honey, I've got a great idea for a novel. I said, I'm going to write a mystery. And my husband says, great, honey. He says, do you know how to write a novel? And I remember so profoundly, and this is sort of the turning point. I remember saying, how hard can it be? You know, I've read a million of these novels. Of course, I soon learned how hard it could be, but I was just compelled to do it. I was obsessed. You could not take me away from my computer. I loved my good idea, and that became my first novel, Primetime, which won the Agatha for Best First Novel, and it was the beginning of my crime fiction career at age 55.
I am so, again, and side note, your hair is why I have the confidence to do my hair. So, you know, you stay on TV with gray hair, that gives me the energy to do the same. So I could just fangirl all day, but let's get to the reason why we get you here today, which is your new novel, All This Could Be Yours. People magazine calls this a nail-biting thriller, which we expect from your work all the time. Talk about this main character who, in this case, is, you know, you've done main characters as TV journalists. This one, though, you're showing us kind of the world of a best-selling author with this book.
Yes, exactly. The world of a best-selling author, but also the world of a person kind of like so many of us. The main character, Tessa Calloway, is smart and successful and a good person and a wife and a mom, and she has a career in the corporate world, but she just doesn't feel that she's fulfilled. She just doesn't feel, I mean, she says she's living her one life. She has one life, and she needs to follow her dreams. So one day she just quits her job in the corporate world, live on Instagram, she quits, and goes off to follow her dream to be an author. And by golly, she comes up with a debut knockout best-selling novel. So she is sent on tour by her publisher, a glamorous nationwide book tour where she's met with, you know, the adulation of fans and signing lines and adoration. It's her dreams have come true. But at some point, she realizes that on this book tour, she has a stalker, someone who is trying to not only ruin her newfound glorious career, but destroy her darling husband and her darling children, who she has had to leave back home. So what starts out as a glamorous, fabulous nationwide book tour turns into a cross-country cat and mouse chase with the author running for her life. Just like real book tour, you know, Rebecca, just like real life.
I was just going to say that happens to all authors, right? So when you're talking to people, though, what do they tell you about how they feel when they're reading your books? Like, what's their, oh, when I read you, I feel this way?
Oh, that's a great question. You know, I think if there's a Hank DNA to a book, they're books about strong, smart, savvy women who have the rug pulled out from under them and who need to get their power back. So it's all about the regaining of our place in the world, of following our dreams. I mean, I don't like graphic sex or violence or inappropriate language, so I just don't put that in the books. But what I do love is gaslighting and manipulation and suspense and a tiny bit of murder and a super lot of empowerment, of justice, of the search for truth. Just like we do as a reporter, I want the good guys to win and the bad guys to get what's coming to them. And in the end, you want some justice and you want to change the world a little bit. So in the end of All This Could Be Yours, I really want you to think, oh yeah, I never saw that coming, but that's exactly what should have happened. So a satisfying, entertaining book. I want you to miss your stop on the bus because you just want to read one more chapter.
Very good. I am sold, but I've always been sold because you are an amazing inspiration to a lot of women, including me, number one. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, and follow her on social media, Hank P. Ryan on Instagram. She is very active there, and it's a great way to make sure you know what's happening in her very exciting, very inspirational life. Thanks for joining us today on Author's Note.
Oh, my complete pleasure. Thank you.